Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Do you hear me and see me well? Thank you, Zainullah. I am not sure if you can turn on your camera or microphone. Can you please try? Okay, I will now. Sorry, the setting was in a way that you could not turn on your microphone and camera, but I am now enabling that. Okay, so I think in principle you should be able to turn on your camera and microphones. Okay, great, perfect. I will just wait for another 2 minutes, and then if you don't mind, we will start sharp 10 past. Okay, so let us start. We have now 8 representatives from interested institutions online. The meeting is also recorded and it will be made available to other colleagues who would like to see the presentation. In addition, all the discussions that we will have will be also as part of the frequently asked questions of which will be uploaded on the procurement portal. So let me begin with introducing myself. My name is Nima Bahramadian, and I am the manager of the UNIDO project of the Special Trust Fund for Afghanistan in Southeast region. And I will today take you through some key information and important information about the call for proposal for which you have uh, already registered or not registered or informed UNIDO that you would like to submit a proposal, but you have also kindly attended this workshop. Although it is not a mandatory workshop today, but I hope it will provide some useful information that would help you in preparing your proposals in line with the requirements of the call for proposal. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, great. So I put it on the full screen so you can see it better. So today I will take you through these subjects. I will firstly talk about the background of the project and this call for proposal, the key information about it and the contacts, the objectives of the project and the targets that we have. Then I would take you through one of the most important parts of the call for proposals, and that is the qualification requirements, technical evaluation criteria, and financial evaluation criteria, which are very important uh, information for you as you're preparing your proposals so that you would be able to develop it and shape it in a way that it meets the criteria. And at the end, we would have open floor for any question that you may have. There are a lot of other information in the call for proposals and the various documents that you may have questions. We will leave the floor open for at least an hour so that we can discuss on any question that you may have. We would be able to address. So let me start by providing some key information. As you have registered to this workshop, pre-bid conference workshop, that means you have already registered on UNIDO portal and you have accessed the documents of the call for proposal. And as you have noticed, the application is open and the procurement is open until 17th of April for submission of the your proposals. So please bear that date in mind. And of course, as you have also noticed in the first pages of the document of the call for proposal, you are advised and invited to immediately inform UNIDO if you intend to submit a proposal. This is important for one main reason, and that is if there is any change in the documents, if there is any change or correction in any of the documents, all the registered applicants will be informed automatically by UNIDO. So, for example, if there's a specific detail that has been missing in the terms of reference and we add that, all the registered applicants will be automatically notified. In addition, there is also the section of frequently asked questions. As we move forward, many of the applicants will submit questions through the portal. And if you are registered, then you would be able to get those automatically get the updates and answers, those questions and answers. So if your colleague has asked a question, which is also relevant for you, you will be automatically notified about that question and that answer. So I kindly urge you to register on the procurement portal and inform us that you intend to apply. The whole call for proposal is governed by UNIDO rules and regulations. You can, and this in this particular case, because it's for grants, you can see the rules and regulations in the link that I've provided here. This is our grant manual. And there you can see all the relevant administrative rules and regulations of the grants. It's not necessarily linked or necessary for you to review it before preparing the application, but in case you were interested and you had some curiosity to see what is the let's say the framework, the rules and regulations within which this call for proposals is published, here you can see that. And as I mentioned, if you have any queries or comments, any requests for clarification about this call for proposal, please upload your request directly in the e-procurement portal on which you are already registered, UNIDO Procurement Portal. There, under the question and answer tab, you would be able to select under the question and answer tab in the RFX number, you can basically click and submit your question. And we will automatically receive that question. We will answer to you. You will receive the answer. And all the questions and answers of every applicant will be also published online, so you would be able to see that. Important contact that you have seen also on the call for proposal document is Mrs. Natalie Mabdi. She is the contract officer of the Department of Procurement of UNIDO. Any question that you have regarding this call should be directly addressed to Ms. Natalie Mabdi. Uh, None of the project staff, as I introduced myself as the project manager, you may also know other project staff in Afghanistan or in the headquarters, would not be able to provide any answer to your queries. So please, any question that you have, any simple or sophisticated, doesn't matter. Any question, any clarification that you need, please address it to Miss Natalie Mapti. This is her email address, and also copy it to Miss Anna Golubovic. Also, the address is here. Both addresses are also in the first 2 pages of the call for proposal document. So let me now quickly go through the background of the project. As you may well know, the Special Trust Fund for Afghanistan has developed a joint program for different regions, and we are speaking of the Southeast region in this project. And this joint program, which includes many UN agencies, has specific outcomes. One of the outcomes of this program is to support development of economic opportunities, jobs, and more resilient livelihoods, access to food, and improved national resource management in the targeted areas by 2025. The joint program pays a special focus on to women and vulnerable groups, including the internally displaced people and returnees. This is the overall outcome to which UNIDO, similar to the other UN agencies, are contributing. However, the UNIDO project in particular has a specific goal. And this specific goal of UNIDO project is to support, through financial and technical assistance, support the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, both in formal and informal sectors, with a particular focus on women-led businesses and community-owned social enterprises, with the objective to stimulating decent employment opportunities for women and men, and thereby creating income generation and livelihoods. So that is the aim of the UNIDO project. Now, within the UNIDO project, there are basically three important mechanisms that the project works. One is related to more technical assessments, awareness raising, and building awareness on development opportunities and investment opportunities. The second leg is providing financial assistance to target beneficiaries. And the third pillar of the project is providing technical assistance. So grants is one key pillar of the projects, the microgrants. The microgrants are informed by the investment opportunities and assessments of the value chains and development opportunities, and also looking at the challenges and problems and issues that the target beneficiaries have. At the same time, the microgrants are also the reason why we provide technical assistance. So the microgrants will reach the target beneficiaries, and it will be added up by the technical assistance that would help the beneficiaries who have received the microgrants to successfully implement their businesses, business projects, investment projects. So in the target cities of the project, which I will mention in the next slides, which they are, in the target cities of the project, there's a significant barrier for business activities that, among many reasons, it can be also traced back to lack of financial resources, which impacts marginalized communities, which are grappling with high levels of poverty. Micro businesses in particular face challenges due to low economic demand and limited resources, and therefore they have challenge in acquiring financial assets or grants for expanding their businesses. Vulnerable communities, including women and youth in particular, but as well as the internally displaced persons or IDPs, as well as returnees from Afghanistan, from Pakistan and Iran, they experience problems in meeting their basic needs and in the context of uh, changing socioeconomic context and political context. So they face challenges such as insufficient essential services, limited livelihoods for youth and women, and also they're very much vulnerable to both climate and natural shocks and natural disasters, but also political and market shocks. And last but not least, the gender disparity that has been intensified since recent years is another challenge for women to earn a decent and sustainable livelihood. Now, in order to address these challenges, the aim of the interventions and the project of UNIDO, and at the larger scale, the joint program of the SDFA, is to address the different aspects of poverty. And the project aims to bridge these gaps by leveraging economic activities and enterprise activities. Through microgrants, the project aims to empower individuals, micro-enterprises, small and medium enterprises, business groups, household enterprises of women. It aims to support through microgrants such individuals to overcome the poverty barrier and to be able to develop a source of sustainable income through productive activity. And hopefully through that contribute to a positive change in the southeastern region of Afghanistan. So the aim of the grants is to target specific type of beneficiaries and support them in engaging in productive economic activities. The recipients of the of potential recipients of the grants are micro, small, and medium enterprises in manufacturing, in service, or agro-processing sector. These microgrants does not target agricultural production, upstream production, but within the agriculture value chains, post-harvest processing towards market, any activity can be supported. In addition, manufacturing and services, excuse me, in the main cities can be supported. But we also have a special focus for women and youth-led businesses. So micro enterprises that are led by women or small enterprises that young people would like to start up. These all could be target of the micro grants. In addition, the project also specifically focuses on internally displaced people and returnees. Many of the IDPs and returnees are indeed resourceful, skillful people that they have experience of running businesses from where they are coming from, either Pakistan or Iran or elsewhere, and they could receive be target of, and they are a target of these microgrants in order to help them to restart their life back in Afghanistan through engaging in productive activities, in establishing an enterprise, a shop, a small processing unit to earn an income for them and their families. In addition to individuals, the microgrants can also target consortium of any of the above uh, target beneficiaries. For example, a network, a group of women who are working from home on a particular product could be a consortium of beneficiaries or a network of beneficiaries. It could be also a consortium of 5 small enterprises who would like to jointly invest in a common facility for processing a particular product, for example. This can also be considered under these activities, or it can be a community facility that can be implemented by community organizations in villages or in the small towns. Now, geographically speaking, the project is working in the Southeast region, and in particular, we are targeting Khost, Pul Alam, Sharan, and Gardez as the main towns that we are intervening. But of course, there are enterprises that they're outside this town. They can be also supported. And of course, out of these cities, if in other cities within the Southeast region, there is also opportunity. And if any of the applicants would like to propose with a strong justification why you suggest to work also in other cities in the Southeast region, that can be also considered. But the minimum is the 4 cities that I've mentioned here: Host, Pul Alam, Sharan, and Gardens. Now, the purpose of this call for proposal is, of course, to identify and hire an implementing partner that will comprehensively manage the microgrants for this project. The purpose of the requested services, as I mentioned at the beginning, are threefold. Of course, the main service is the management of the microgrants. But before that, the implementing partner would also, together with UNIDO and in coordination with UNIDO, deploy local expertise and undertake outreach activities in order to mobilize potential beneficiaries, raise awareness among the potential beneficiaries, and encourage them to come forward to apply to receive the microgrants. So one particular work of the implementing partner is engaging with potential beneficiaries, raising awareness on investment opportunities and support opportunities and services from the project. The second key important work is related to management of the financial support, the microgrants. And that means the pre-selection activities, selection of final beneficiaries, award of the grants and the agreements, the grant disbursement based on the milestones, and also management and project level monitoring and reporting of the microgrants. So at the level of individual microgrants, monitoring and reporting on the achievements. The third and important part of the services that the applicant or the implementing partner will provide is technical assistance. Hardly ever any grant has been only financial support has managed to achieve the intended objectives. And we know that many of the microgrants or enterprises who are receiving the microgrants would require extra support, helping them to implement their business proposals or projects, micro projects, whatever that be. It could be a technical assistance to help them better manage their finances. It could be a technical assistance that helps them to get their products to the market, or helps them to improve the quality of the product. In whichever way we look at it, often such enterprises require that technical assistance. So the implementing partner is also expected to provide that technical assistance to beneficiaries to ensure that the investment projects result or bear the results of the expected results. Importantly, I would like to emphasize that in this call for proposal, as you have seen in terms of reference and in the call for proposal document, that we have requested you to provide a strategy for providing the technical assistance. However, the contract for that technical assistance is separate from the contract for the microgrants. So if an implementing partner applies, it includes the technical assistance strategy and indicates the budget that it requires to provide that technical assistance. If that applicant is successful, we will award the grant contract to them for managing the microgrants, and we will separately subcontract the same implementing partner to provide the technical assistance. The applicant can also indicate a partner for providing the technical assistance. So for example, implementing partner A is the lead that is applying for the microgrants, but they know that they do not have the capacity to provide the technical assistance, and they would like to partner with another organization who is more capable of providing technical assistance. So they can apply jointly. One would be the lead, and once if the proposal is accepted, then the partner of the implementing partner will be subcontracted to provide the technical assistance. So this is the first part of the presentation. If there is any question, please let me know. If not, then I will move towards reviewing the qualification requirements and the technical and financial evaluation criteria. Is there any question so far?
Thank you. Yeah, everything is clear.
Okay, so I see that there is no question at this point. So let me then move on with the reviewing the qualification requirements and technical and evaluation criteria. So first with qualification requirements, these are basically the eligibility criteria who is entitled to apply for this call for proposals. First, the applicants may be excluded from access to UNIDO funding based on the UNIDO policy on exclusion from funding. This document is available online. The link to it is also provided in the call for proposals, so you can review. There are specific cases where applicants would not be able to apply, and this has links with mostly illegal activities and activities that are sanctioned by the United Nations. The potential applicants, the interested applicants, should be registered and have a legal status to operate in Afghanistan. And the copy of the relevant registration certificate should be submitted with the application. And if a foreign entity wishes to participate in this call for proposal, they must provide a consortium agreement with an Afghan entity designated as a lead. So it is possible for an international organization to also apply, but they have to have a partner that is registered in Afghanistan as a local institution. They can apply jointly, and the Afghan entity registered in Afghanistan should be the lead of the application. So international organizations, they can only participate as a partner of another local or national institution. The applicant or the lead in the consortium must have a national tax number or a free tax number, NTN or FTN, and a general sales tax number, GST, at the Afghanistan Revenue Department, or sales tax number for the government entities. And the government entities should provide a no objection letter from their subordinates department instead, if they don't have. The applicants should also fill in and sign the UNIDO statement of confirmation form that is in the attachment of the call for proposals. The interested applicant must have never been blacklisted by any government, non-government, private, or bilateral, multilateral financial institutions. Moreover, the applicant must not be under any such investigation or litigation related to fraud or improper conduct. And confirmation of meeting this requirement should be submitted in the application. There is a specific limit for the amount of the grant that can be requested. The maximum annual grant disbursement. So as we know, we have 2024 and 2025, so we have 2 years. The annual grant disbursement that will be requested in your budget should not exceed the annual turnover of your organization, as per the last audited financial statements for the year 2023. Okay? So if, for example, the financial statements says the annual turnover has been $250,000 in 2023, the applicant can apply for 500,000 US dollar because 250,000 of disbursement can be indicated for 2024 and 250,000 for 2024. So that means that the annual grant disbursement that the organization will do, the applicant will do, should not be more than the annual turnover. This must be audited by the Ministry of Economy, the statements, or an international registered auditing firm, or the income tax return filed last year with Afghanistan. So either the income tax return that is filed with the Revenue Department or the financial statements that they are audited by the ministry or any international auditing firm. In addition, the applicant should accept the model grant agreement and the general conditions in the Annex 2 of the call for proposal. That means you have already reviewed what is in the general conditions and what are the template of the agreement, so that if you are selected, you would basically automatically agree with the general conditions. The applicant should also agree and have the capacity to participate in lesson learning and lesson sharing activities, monitoring and evaluation activities, and sharing of data. So as the project management unit, we would like all our partners, implementing partners, be it subcontracted or for the microgrants, to participate continuously in our lesson learning, knowledge sharing activities. Also, we would have the monitoring and evaluation activities that the implementing partners should be actively engaged in and provide information, and of course share the data from the beneficiaries and any other data related to the outcomes of the microgrants. Let me move to the technical evaluation criteria. Before going into the specific criteria and parts of the criteria, there are some, let's say, eligibility also for the technical evaluation criteria. First of all the proposed activities must be conducted in the selected region. So Southeast region is the target, including the host, Pola Alam, Sharan, and Gardes. And only if the applicant considers that there are certain businesses that they can provide very good income generation, livelihood development opportunity for any of the targeted beneficiaries like women, youth-led businesses, the IDPs and returnees. But if they are outside these four cities, and if the applicant can justify why they would suggest to go outside and work also with other cities in the region, that could be possible. But that should show a strong justification why considering other towns and cities in the Southeast region will have a bigger impact and better opportunity to support the target beneficiaries. The grant funds can be only used for providing microgrants to final recipients, for setting up or augmenting, improving their business or productive activities. So that means it cannot be used for example, as a source of consumable loan. So they cannot get this grant to just buy consumables, or they cannot use this grant to buy a car. It has to be linked to an income generating activity, a productive activity. In the technical evaluation area, we would also have a criteria for having the technical support strategy. So if you do not include the technical assistance strategy in the proposal, the application will not be further reviewed because it will be disqualified. We will only look at the proposals that they also have the technical assistance strategy in the application. So no amount of the grants can be expensed on providing technical support. As I mentioned, a separate contract will be issued to finance the technical assistance. So no amount of the grant proposal will be provided as technical support. When you provide your budget, you have to indicate what is going to received by the final beneficiaries, what is the overhead cost and management cost of the organization, and what is the budget for technical assistance. So these three categories you will have. But from the budget that is for the grants, nothing can be used for technical support or training to the final beneficiaries. So therefore, in order for us to understand how you are going to provide the technical assistance, it is necessary that your proposal clearly indicates the following. First of all, what kind of technical assistance, such as training, mentoring, assessments, any type of technical assistance that you think is required to successfully for the beneficiaries to successfully implement their investment projects, you should basically provide in this strategy. So indicate what kind of technical assistance would be required to achieve the intended objectives for the individuals, but also overall for the project. Please also propose the plan for providing the technical assistance. For example, whether you're, as the main applicant, will be in position to provide the technical assistance, or you introduce a partner institution to provide the technical assistance. And in case of the latter, which means if you will be engaging a partner institution to provide the technical assistance, that partner should be indicated as part of a consortium applying for the project grant. The consortium means that here you should show us an agreement between you and that partner institution that you agree in this collaboration, and the lead would be organization X. The organization Y would provide the technical assistance and formalize that with a signature of the both organizations' management. So that is enough to indicate that there is a consortium. Please also indicate the estimated budget needed for delivery of the technical assistance. We are not evaluating your proposals based on the technical assistance strategy and the budget for it, but we would like to see the strategy there, and we would like to see that there's a financial proposal for it as well. That would be for us an indication whether we could engage into a grant agreement with you and if there is already a technical assistance strategy. The proposed technical assistance activities will not be considered under the evaluation of the grant proposal. So it will be looked at for the technical assistance only. Now, if your application meets these requirements that I mentioned, so it is within the geographical area, it has the technical assistance strategy inside, then we will look at the various criteria. And I believe we have 6 or 7 relevant parts or categories of the criteria. Now, the applications will be appraised on the extent to which they demonstrate strength in each of these criteria. And we will rank them 1 to 5, whether they're very poor, poor, average, strong, or very strong. And then each of them will have equal weighting. And each of the categories have also a percentage. That is the percentage of the total score that comes from this category. So the first category is relevance and practicality of the proposed solution. So we are looking for proposals that they're very relevant to the context. So they are designed based on the understanding of what are the challenges on the ground for each of the target beneficiaries, for the sectors that they are active, and generally for improving the productive activities in the Southeast region. So it should be relevant to the context and it should be practical. It should be practical in the sense of understanding and considering the realities on the ground. So we would like to see a clear identification and defining the type of investment and the entrepreneurial activities that the applicant or the implementing partner will seek to support under the microgrant scheme. We would like to also see a clear definition of the problem that the grant is trying to address. For example, you could have a grant proposal that looks at different sectors and different regions and any type of problems, or you can have, if you have already identified and you can justify why you will only focus on a particular problem, you can also describe this in detail if there's a particular problem that your proposal wants to address. For example, if you only focus on addressing the issues related to IDPs and returnees, you can have your proposal only looking at the IDPs and returnees. You can also have a proposal that is generic, that is not as generic, but covers all the beneficiary groups. And for each of them, then it will have to have the clear definition of the challenges they're facing and how the grants and the technical assistance is going to address that. And we would like to see how how the implementing partner intends to achieve the intended outcomes. As you have seen in the call for proposals, the intended outcomes of this project is job creation, improvement in business activity, in sales, maybe reduction of waste or introduction of new products, number of women that they can get engaged in the supply chains. We have these outcomes that we have listed in the terms of reference. So when your proposal is contributing these outcomes, we would like to see that you have developed a strong theory of change, how the microgrants and the technical assistance and the awareness raising and engagement with different beneficiaries will come together to achieve these outcomes. And that's what we call it, the theory of change. So we would like to see there's a strong theory of change, how you go about using the microgrants and the technical assistance as the means to achieve these outcomes. The second groups of criteria is the use of evidence and innovation in the proposals. So it is important for us, and we would favorably look at proposals who have an innovative approach. innovative approach, not in the sense that it's groundbreaking globally, but even to the extent to which it is built upon the lessons learned by the organization. So if you have in the past undertaken any evaluation or study of your achievements or projects, and the lessons of that, if it is already included into this your proposal, and that is an innovation, that is also considered. So uh, this is important to see, to show us, to demonstrate to what extent your proposal uses the findings from previous projects, the formal evaluations, or any scientific studies to justify your theory of change. Uh, and for example, if the proposed theory of change or your strategy to address livelihood challenges of the final beneficiaries, is it new to you? Is it new in the Southeast region? Is it new in Afghanistan? So you have to also demonstrate to us whether this innovative aspect of your proposal has been applied before in Afghanistan or by you elsewhere. You should also tell us how relevant is this innovative approach to addressing poverty and economic challenges in urban areas such as Khost, Hula Alam, Sharm, and Gardes in general. And how easily this approach that you would propose can be applied beyond this proposal. So imagining that if we want to apply this across Afghanistan, what is the uh, scalability of your approach, potential for scalability. Next is about targeting of activities. So here we would like to see a clear definition of the end target beneficiaries, how you will identify them, and the number of beneficiaries that you will be targeting gender disaggregated. So in your proposal, it should be also clearly defined uh, who would be your beneficiaries, how many of them you will target, how many women and how many men, and how you will identify them. You should also explain to us through your proposal what is your strategy to reach out to and ensure equal opportunity for women to access the grants. So in general, I mentioned one of the first things that the implementing partner would do is the awareness raising and engaging with the potential beneficiaries. Now, we would want to see how you do that, but in particular, also we want to see how do you ensure equal opportunity for women to access the grants. It's not an easy topic to speak now about it, but we would like to see our implementing partners putting in place strategies and mechanisms that will improve our chance of directly supporting women and in the economic activities. You should also demonstrate how this support can result in sustainable and market-oriented income generation for marginalized target beneficiaries, such as the IDPs and returnees. So in particular, also for IDPs and returnees, what would be your strategy to reach out to them and make sure that they build, through the support of the grants and technical assistance, they can build a sustainable income generation activity. You should also, in your proposal, demonstrate the financial needs of the final recipients or beneficiaries and demonstrate why there is a lack of alternative funding sources for them. We would also like to see an outline of the process for awarding the microgrant. So the pre-selection activities, selection, review, and the award process. We would like to see that you demonstrate the process in which the process that you will use to pre-select, select, evaluate, and award the microgrants. Next one is contribution to sustainable development. So, of course, we are not working in a vacuum, and as part of the UN, we are contributing to the sustainable development goals. And we would like to see how your proposals the targets, the microgrants, the beneficiaries, the theory of change, and the priorities all contribute to sustainable development challenges. For example, you may say that housing is a problem in these areas, sustainable housing, and we would like to support masons and carpenters that they are building houses, and we want to help them to improve their operations. So we use the micro grants and use the technical assistance to help them to build better houses, more resilient houses. So therefore, you can link that. In this example, you say the link between the micro grants and our target beneficiaries and the sustainable development is that the, the, the final beneficiary who received the grant, they produce products that will contribute to a sustainable development and more secure livelihood of the population. Or examples of that could be on on of course directly related to women empowerment is a target of the project, but for example, you can also look at issues of waste, for example, how waste can be addressed in the bigger towns, and how can microgrants and enterprises be part of that solution. So therefore, linking the microgrants and technical assistance to a sustainable development challenge. We would like to therefore see that you have the objectives and the priorities of your proposal, and if you are specifying it into particular problem areas, then how these are linked to sustainable development goals. And we would like to see that you can explain in your proposal and demonstrate the deep understanding of social, economic, and environmental challenges facing people and enterprises with regards to sustainable development. So, but show to us, demonstrate how well versed and experienced you are in addressing sustainable development challenges in with regards to the people and enterprises in these areas, but also women, IDPs, and returnees. One important aspect of sustainable development for us is also adaptation to climate change. So we look at the proposals also who have a specific effort, or the applicants who would like to put up an extra effort to address climate adaptation needs of businesses or the communities. Women and youth empowerment and durable solutions for IDPs and returnees is also a main focus of our technical criteria. As you can see, it is a 25% weight for this particular criteria. And very simply, we would like to see the extent to which that the proposal promotes economic empowerment of women, of the youth, IDPs, and returnees, and how the proposal is geared towards addressing their problems. So is it a small part of the program, of your proposal to look to identify women, or no, it is a central part of your proposal to target women, youth, and IDPs and returnees. It is for us very important that these are at the core of the target beneficiaries, but not only tag alongs. Of course, we work with all range of SMEs, but we have a special attention and focus on this particular community of women, youth, IDPs, and returnees. Monitoring and evaluation, and with clear milestones and reporting approaches. So we would like to see a very robust monitoring and evaluation approach. Of course, not all the details of it can go into the proposals. You have also a word limit, a very specific word limit for the application, but we would like to see that the applicant has a monitoring and evaluation approach and plan in mind to apply. And you can describe it in brief, in as much as your space allows. Explain it how you're going to monitor and evaluate the achievements of the project, of the microgrants. And lastly is the implementation capacity. So please demonstrate to us whether you have experience in delivering similar or relevant projects or programs in Afghanistan. You can attach the contracts or project reports, the description of deliverables. Uh, uh, all of them should be signed by the head of the organization, but share to us these reports from the past experience and the relevant experiences. We would also look at the capacity of the designated project team. So please indicate who is part of the core team for doing this project. Attach the CVs. This we will look at, and we will also examine the capacity of the implementing partner based on the personnel that you designate for this project. And we also look at the clear implementation plan, how appropriately it is resourced, how realistic and how practical it is as part of the assessment of the implementation capacity. Let me go to the financial evaluation criteria. In this part, there are some financial requirements. So there are some requirements for the financial proposal in order to make it eligible to be evaluated. First of all, the overhead costs, including monitoring and reporting costs and the management of the grant, may be charged to the grant, but must not exceed more than 10% of the requested amount. So we have a fixed cap of 10% that can be considered as the overhead costs. And this is the cost of the management of the grant, as well as the monitoring and the reporting of the grant. So it's not related to the technical assistance to support. It is related only to the overhead costs. Now, with regards to the limit of grants to final beneficiaries, as you have seen, each single beneficiary or recipient of the microgrants cannot receive more than $2,000. So it can receive 500, 600, 1,500, or 2,000, any range below the 2,000s for an individual beneficiary. However, the beneficiaries can also come together to join a consortium, which means that if 5 enterprises that they have similar individual investments, they want to come together, request a one joint grant, it is possible. So if there are 5 of them, they can apply for 10,000 maximum. So each of them, the individual limits can be added up in the case of the consortium. However, there are also consortiums that include investment in common facility centers. For example, if 5, 10 organizations come not to have 5 similar projects, but to have one project that is common for all of them. For example, establishing a processing facility that can be used by 5, 10, 20 enterprises. In this case, the grant can be up to 20,000. So they can come and say, we would like to have a center for supporting women economic activities in each village, in each town. And this will cost 20,000. This is possible to do. So there should be a social enterprise that comes forward and proposes this, and they can receive up to 20,000. So this 20,000, remember, that is linked with common facility centers. It's important that also there's no retroactive financing. For example, the activities that happened in the past or they have already started or concluded, they cannot be financed or presented for financing or for what we call the retroactive financing. Similarly, no double funding of activities is allowed. For example, if a grant is paid for an activity that is already financed by another source, if there are two organizations that they are supporting the same activity. In particular, the grants should not be used to pay back loans. So if the enterprise is already indebted and paying back loan, the grant that they request cannot be used for paying back that loan. And the proposed budget that we will evaluate should separate the activities related to technical assistance. So you should have a budget for the microgrants, the management of the microgrants, and a separate budget for technical assistance. So this should not be mixed together so that we can clearly see what is the budget that you're requesting for the microgrants, which will have the overhead cost and the budget that goes to the beneficiaries, and separately we would have the budget for technical assistance. If these requirements are met, so there's no double financing, there's basically statements of acceptance of these, and the budget structure is correct, then we will basically look at four criteria to evaluate. One is how reasonable and realistic is the structure and distribution of costs. For example, how much it is on the overhead cost, how much is going to the beneficiaries, and how much is going to technical assistance, and the structure and distribution of these. We also look favorably at own contributions. So we are looking at organizations to provide co-financing, and this co-financing could be in the form of in-kind contribution and accounted in dollars as co-financing. We would like to also see that, and we will be evaluating the proposals based on the size of the own contribution. We also look at the overhead charges. For example, how much of the grant eventually flows back to the eventual beneficiaries. And we would also like to see in the proposal the financial mechanisms for ensuring efficiency and effectiveness of the operation, but also the management of the grants. So what strategies would you use and what mechanisms you put in place to be effective and efficient in monitoring and managing the grant disbursement. So these were the criteria based on which we will use to assess and rank the proposals. So all the applications who are scoring more than 60% as sum of the technical and financial will be considered for final award by the grant evaluation committee. So if the financial and the technical evaluation criteria, the sum of it is less than 60%, it will not be considered by the grant evaluation committee. The technical evaluation criteria will have a 70% weight, and the financial criteria will have a 30% weight in the final scoring. In addition, that the sum will have to be above 60% to be considered, the score. The project must score at least average in every category. So average is number 3. So as I mentioned, we will be evaluating and assessing 1 to 5. So the sum may be above 60. In many of the cases, you may receive 4 or 5. But if in 1, 2, 3 criteria you score 1 or 2, that will be also a reason for disqualification. So it should be above 60, the overall score, and in every category, the proposal should at least score 3 or the average. And subject to our budget limitations, UNIDO may choose to award the projects with the highest overall score. So we may award to 2 different organizations separated based on the sector or based on the cities, but we may also choose to work with one single organization, and in that case, we will select the organization with the highest score. So I think I have 2 pages only left. So your technical proposal, just to recap in terms of your application, when you're looking at, there's an application form that you can fill in, and it has different sections with the key questions and some guidance on how to address those questions. Please read them through. If there is any need for clarification for any part of the application form, submit your request on the e-procurement portal to receive this information back. Don't leave it for the last moment. You can always reach out to the contacts that I mentioned to get those information to help you to prepare your proposal better. Now, during this period is the opportunity, and it is our responsibility to help you to better understand the cumbersome application procedure. So please don't hesitate to contact us. Now, the technical proposal that you see should consist of the following. The The application forms should be comprehensively filled in. It should clearly outline the problem that the proposal is trying to address with a clear evidence-based argument. It should identify with reason and evidence the sectors, the areas, or type of business activities that will be specific targeted, if it will be. And if the proposal is for all business activities, then a rationale need to be given how and why you look at various different sectors. A work plan with activities outlined with timeline, a clearly articulated process of soliciting applications from final beneficiaries. So how do you basically engage with the applicants and look at the applications, and how do you coordinate with UNIDO? The methodology, the criteria, and the requirements for this process. And we would like to see also the technical assistance strategy as part of the technical proposal. We would also want to see that no amount of grant will be expensed against activities that they are outside the thematic scope, as I mentioned, infrastructure or construction support, unless it is related to business activity, subsistence grants, grants for non-income generation consumables, projects that they are outside of the scope of the focus, for example, upstream agriculture or livestock production. So these we would not want to see in the technical proposal because it's not the focus of the project. And in the financial proposal, you should consider the following, that the total budgeted cost of your proposal should be at least minimum 150,000, including the uh, the co-financing, and maximum of 665,000, including co-financing and overhead charges. Okay. The co-financing, we expect to receive at least 20% co-financing from the applicants. If there is any change in this figure, we will inform all the applicants. This can be cash or in kind, as we mentioned, but it should be auditable and identifiable. And the applicant must submit no more than one proposal covering all areas of sector. So we should not receive two proposals from one applicant. The grant support that is available, the total budget for the grant is 665,000. And of course, those proposals that they have higher co-financing may be prioritized. But it's not necessary that we will prioritize those with higher co-financing. We also understand organizations will have different financial and capacity, but it is a criteria that we would like to favorably look at, but is not the reason why we would select an organization or not. It's just one part of the criteria. The applications should be submitted, or you should submit the financial proposal either in Afghani or in US dollars. There is an annex on the financial proposal format, and that you should follow to present your budget and the proposal. And the applicant should also have an account in the currency in which you provide the financial offer. So if you're providing the financial proposal in US dollar, you must have an account in US dollar. And if you are providing the proposal in the local currency, you will also have to have an account in the local currency. And last, I repeat again here that the financial proposal should separately mention the grant budget, the implementing partner's operation cost and overhead cost, and the estimated budget for technical assistance. So these three parts should be clearly mentioned and separated in the financial proposal. So I thank you, and this was the end of the presentation. And now I would like to open the floor for anyone to have any question or to raise any request for any clarification, please. Okay, Mr. Alam, and then Mr. Ahmed Farid, I see have their hands up.
Sorry. Thank you very much for the presentation. It's clear, very clear now. I have one question. Can a partner apply for, let's say, 2 cities or 3 cities in one application?
You mean only 2 or 3 cities out of the 4?
Yeah, if one applicant apply for 2 or 3 cities or 4.
Sure, definitely. We would welcome applications that they are covering more than one city. So we would like to see actually applications that they cover 4 cities, but there may be organizations that they are not active in one city. That's understandable, but we would prefer to see proposals that they cover more cities.
Okay, because couple is working in the Southeast region and currently have similar projects with UNHCR and want to apply for those areas which have active offices in operation there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Ahmad Farid.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks a lot for the perfect presentation. I've got 2 questions. First, about the budget. In presentation, you have said that the grant operating budget and technical assistance should be cleared by the implementing partner, and it should not exceed 665,000. So I wanted to ask if the grant, which will be distributed among selected beneficiaries, is it going to be cleared by you, or we are going to decide how much of the budget should be separated for beneficiaries? And second, I also wanted to know the total number of beneficiaries which will be selected per city. It is to be also cleared by us, or we're going to receive a plan regarding the number of beneficiaries in each province or city. Over to you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zainullah. So the 665,000 is only the budget for grants. So that excludes the technical assistance. So 665,000 is the maximum that an applicant can propose for, including the overhead charges and including the funds that will go eventually to target beneficiaries. And on top of that, and separately, you should indicate what would be the budget that you would require for providing the technical assistance. Okay, so these 665,000 is the maximum only for the grant part, not for the technical assistance. Second question, in terms of the number of beneficiaries, your proposal may say we are looking at, based on our experience, we are looking at not giving more than $500 grants because of a well-justified reason. That is your proposal. And then another organization may say we target only giving 1,000 loans, for example. Or the other one would say we expect to have a range of 10% with 2,000, 30% 1,000, and 70% less than 1,000 grants. So this should be an informed indication, an informed information, let's say, that you would say, based on our experience, based on the experience that we have with this type of businesses and enterprises and target beneficiaries, that's what we expect to have. And you should indicate then what would be the target number of beneficiaries that you look at.
Thanks a lot. That would cover all. About technical assistance, do we need to write a separate proposal for technical assistance at the same time as we are giving our proposal for grants, or should we wait until the grant part is complete, and after that we should apply for technical assistance? Thanks.
Sure. This is important that your proposal now for the grants should include a part, and that is the strategy for technical assistance. You will probably not have the chance and the word limits to go into very details of the technical assistance strategy, but we expect a 1-2 pager indication of what would be your strategy, what would be the mechanisms for you to provide the technical assistance. At a later stage, once your application for grants is successful, then we use the same strategy that you provided and we negotiate on that to develop the strategy for the technical assistance, and we will then subcontract you or your identified implementing partner for technical assistance. But let me reiterate, emphasize that your proposal to the microgrant should have a strategy for technical assistance. And if it does not have a technical assistance strategy, it will be disqualified. So please make sure to include in your application the strategy for providing technical assistance.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. That would cover all. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Okay. Mr. Hussein Rahimi.
Thank you, Mr. Nima, for comprehensive presentation. I would like to know about the UNIDO support to the implementing partner through the project life cycle. What type of support you will provide during the project implementation to the implementing partner? In addition to this, I would like to know that did you informed or coordinated with the authority yet regarding this project, with the relevant sector ministries? Did you inform them regarding this, or all the responsibility is the responsibility of the implementing partner? In addition to this, I would like to know regarding the more about the timeline and milestone of this project. What are the key deliverables and deadlines that implementing partners will be expected to meet this project? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Rahimi. So the first question is that along the implementation, UNIDO would have the capacity to provide advisory support to the implementing partner. Of course, we would expect the implementing partner to be able to, and that's why they are selected, that they are able to independently run the microgrants and the technical assistance part of the project. But UNIDO will also be able to provide advisory service and trainings and basic technical expertise to help the implementing partner in achieving their project. So not a comprehensive technical assistance from UNIDO to the implementing partner, but there certainly will be support in terms of advice and advisory support. Coordination with the national and local government institution is key. We expect the implementing partner in coordination with UNIDO to undertake those. So in that effort, the implementing partner will not be alone. Of course, there are some obligations by any implementing partner that would want to work with the UN organizations or receive funds. That obligations the implementing partner will have to meet. But in terms of coordination with the local institutions, UNIDO and the implementing partner will work together. For example, just an example, if we want to organize an awareness raising workshop and invite the business community to explain to them what kind of support they can get from the project, this has to be coordinated with the local institutions. And in that effort, the implementing partner and UNIDO will make that coordination. And lastly, about the timelines. So the end of the project is December 2025, and there is an expectation that this project may get extended beyond this time. But for now, basically, the grants will have to be dispersed in the first half of the grants agreements with the final beneficiaries will have to be signed in the first half of this period, and the rest of the period should be taken for implementing that grant activities until December 2025. Unless the project gets extended and there will be additional time to complete the activities.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Alam, I don't know if your hand is up from before or if there's a new question.
I'm sorry, it was before I
No problem. I noticed that I may have kept some of the colleagues in waiting room unwantedly because I was on full screen and I did not notice. So I apologize for that. If I admitted you a bit late into the meeting, the recording of the session will be available, and the key points will be also added to the frequently asked questions of the call for proposal. So rest assured you will not be missing any point. Okay, so let me invite Grace. Please.
Sure. Thank you so much, Nima, for the background. I was one of those ones that was stuck in the waiting room, so I did, no worries, but I did miss a bit of it. So hopefully you all will make the recording available afterwards and I can catch up a bit. But I just have one quick clarification question about the technical assistance point that you were discussing earlier. Let me just like rephrase what I think I understand from you, and then maybe you can confirm if I've understood correctly. I understand that in our proposal, we should just explain sort of a brief overall strategy on the technical assistance that we would like to provide, but then we shouldn't budget for that in our budget, correct? And then if we win the project, which would be for the overall grant distribution, then in the negotiation phase, we would then discuss with your team, you know, what the budget might be for that, and then you would contract us at that point, and then we would work out those details. Is that a correct understanding?
Partly. So yes, the 665,000 that we have put a limit for this call for proposal is only for the microgrants.
Mm-hmm.
So in this 665 should not include the technical assistance. Of course, you may decide to go for proposing a 500,000 for the microgrants. That is fine. You can also minimum request 150,000 or propose 150,000. It is also possible. But this budget should not include the budget for technical assistance.
Okay.
However, we would like to see the overall strategy for technical assistance, what kind of activities, what would be the process to provide, and who will provide it, whether it would be you or an implementing partner. And we would like to see an estimated budget. So a separate estimated budget for that technical assistance. So you may say we request 500, we propose 500,000 for the micro grant, which will include the overhead cost, which will include the grants that will go to the final beneficiaries. And we have, this is our technical assistance strategy, and the estimated budget for that is X amount of US dollars, for example.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well noted. Thank you very much, Nima.
Thanks. Rahmat?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the perfect and comprehensive presentation. I have a very short question that how many grantees will be selected by UNIDO through this project?
We may opt for one or more organizations to award the grant. That depends on the proposals that we receive. If we receive all the proposals comprehensive in terms of the geographical scope, in terms of the sectors, in terms of the target beneficiaries, and if those proposals score the highest, then we may opt for working with one organization to cover all, or we may receive applications that they target one type of beneficiary, for example, the IDPs, or they target only women. then in that case, we would be working with, it's likely that we would be working with more than one organization. I cannot give you a definitive figure. It all depends on the size of the proposals that we would receive, but I can just tell you that it is possible in both cases that we work with either one organization or we work with more than one organization. But the total budget for overall remains the 665,000. So in case of working with a couple of organizations, we would not be working with a couple of 665,000 budgets. It will in overall, in total, implemented by one or multiple organizations, the overall budget for the grants that we have is 665,000 US dollars.
Well noted, thanks.
Thank you. So let me just emphasize again, while we may wait, some other questions may come up, that if you're interested to apply for this, please inform UNIDO that you're interested, and the contact point I have provided to you in the application, in the e-procurement, please create your account, and of course you have already created, that's why you have seen the meeting, but inform also UNIDO that you are interested in applying, and that would be how you can receive automatically the updates. For example, if some part of the terms of reference there's a typo or is a mistake, or if we add a clarification to any part, then you will automatically receive those updates. So please register and also express the interest in applying and submitting a proposal. And if at any point you have any question, any clarification is needed, please use the contact that is in the call for proposals, Mrs. Natalie Mabdi. She is the procurement officer in charge of this call for proposal. So you may know me, Nima, Flo, and Hamdard as the project team. We would not be able to provide any clarification or any answer. So please don't write to us. We can only guide you and direct you back to Ms. Natalie Mabdi. She's very responsive. You submit your question in the e-procurement portal, and you will receive the reply. And that question and reply will also be posted for all the other applicants for their information. So please feel free to write to us on any question and query that you may have. Do we have any other question? We will also share the link to this video to everyone. So those who were unfortunately stuck in the meeting room, like Grace, I apologize. So you will have the chance to read, to look at it again, and any other material that comes out of this workshop, any kind of points that we have discussed, we will also, if we put it on procurement portal, you will also receive it. So I see we have no more hands up. I hope this session was useful for you. I thank you very much for your time and your availability and interest and joining this workshop. There are often some clarifications that help applications to avoid mistakes that are common. So I hope in that respect it has supported you in preparing your application. So I thank you on behalf of UNIDO for participating in this, and I wish you all a good proposal to submit. We really look forward to receive very good proposals from your side, and we look forward to working together. So thank you very much for now, and I wish you a pleasant afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Nima.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nima.
Bye.